Okay, welcome to the first episode of the Flannel Czar podcast. It's just gonna be straight off the dome today. I'm not gonna hold you for long. It's just gonna be about 20 minutes. I guess that's a long time. So grab the snacks, grab a friend, grab some drinks. We're gonna be here for a while, or not. You can leave whenever you want. But you know, I just wanted to do like a longer episode segment just to see how it would do because I feel like I have like a lot of topics to talk about, but I just have to pick and choose what I want to be in like the separate videos. So I guess this will be kind of like think of it like a combination, like all the filler, where it's kind of just like I guess like a longer episode, which is like the stuff that I don't think would be as interesting as in separate videos. I don't care enough to make separate videos about. Now, first thing I want to talk about, like I said, this is going to be a straight out the dome, so it might be a little choppy, but I want to talk about the baby real quick. Now, originally, I didn't want to make a video about the baby because honestly, I feel like this whole thing about him being like homophobic and the HIV and whatever contest, I feel like this is just overblown. Like, there have just been so many rappers and just so many artists who have just been outright homophobic, and they have not gotten nearly the backlash that the baby has gotten for like these small comments. Like the three I can think of off the top of my head are Montana 300. He had that one interview where he said that he would never want to have like a gay son or whatever. Um, we had Dave East, who actually, if you remember, like I think last year he called Little Nas X like a homophobic slur. So that's actually worse than what the baby did because Lil Nas X, I mean not Lil Nas X, Dave East actually said a homophobic slur, which I'll admit I am a fan of Dave East, but I don't know. And the last one I can think of is DMX. He had that song called I forgot what it was called. It was like where the hood at or something like that, and he just talked about like um, gay stuff. Like he just talked about like how he wouldn't shake hands with a gay person or whatever. And I love DMX, but that song has not aged well. So I feel like and all those rappers that I just said, they didn't really get any backlash. DMX didn't get any backlash. Montana 300 didn't get any backlash. Dave East, the news was talking about him for a couple like hours, but then he just kind of dropped it. But yeah, so I just don't understand like why people are so surprised with the baby. I mean, it's kind of like a common thing where rappers are just like homophobic and just they just don't care. So that's just my whole opinion on it. I really don't care that much to talk about the baby. I do not care for his music at all. Well, I do kind of like the song "Shook," but other than that, I don't really care for his music. So that's why I didn't really talk about it because I just didn't feel like I connected with it personally. Although, Elton John, Madonna, Dua Lipa, all these people came out and talked against the baby, and I am a huge fan of Elton John. I love Dua Lipa's new work, and I love Madonna too. I listen to all Madonna's albums, so I'm a huge fan of her music. They all condemned Little Baby. The funniest thing was that Dua Lipa came out and she was like, I don't recognize this as the person that I work with making the Levitating remix. And I'm just like, really? Really? Like, you have to be blind and stupid, no offense, Dua Lipa, to say that. Because what about all the things that the baby has done? He shot someone at Walmart. Well, I guess he did it legally or whatever, but still, he literally murdered someone in a Walmart. He punched a female fan in the face at a concert. He's just been ignorant. He made fun of that like one flight attendant's hair. That flight attendant was doing nothing. He pulled out his cell phone and just made fun of her hair, like, oh, you better comb that hair or that nappy hair, like this like the bit like no like I don't know the baby personally, obviously. Like I said, I don't even like his music, but based on what I've seen online, the baby just seems like a terrible person. Like he might be a nice guy, he might donate to charities, whatever. He just seems like a terrible person all around. And the Leaper just came. I was like, I don't recognize this guys. Honestly, that homophobic rant he did, that was probably one of the more chill things I've seen from him. Honestly, like that guy he just does not seem like a good person. So that's just my quick talk on the baby. Don't really care. Honestly, let's see. He's actually getting more fire today because he he talked about he what did he do? He deleted his post, the apology post. That she I disappeared for a second. But yeah, you can see he kind of like deleted like his post though, his apology post. And I don't know why this is a big deal. He apologized, everyone talked about it, deletes it. Like he didn't take back the apology, he just deleted it for whatever reason. Mostly because he probably didn't want to remind people of what he did. Apologize and forget. But that's just my whole thing with the baby. I have a friend who really likes the baby, and we talked about this, and I was just like, I don't see why people are getting so mad about this. Um, so yeah, that was just one thing. Speaking about homophobic and gay stuff, that was a really awkward segment. But I want to talk about Little Nas X real quick. I have made a past video about Lil Nas X, which kind of garnered some controversy. Um, I want to say real quick, I found out one day. I know I'm kind of late, but Sam Smith and Lil Nas X are like apparently going to have a song together. I keep disappearing. I need to get better software. Yeah, right here, right here. So Lil Nas X album leaks Sam Smith and Molly Cyrus. I'm a pretty big fan of Molly Cyrus. We both share a birthday. I didn't really care for her too much. I do like her Wrecking Ball song, and Party in the USA. I like those songs growing up in like in middle school and high school. But her new album, Plastic Hearts, just blew me away. Like there were so many good songs on that record. Nightcrawler, Golden G String, WTF Do I Know? So I'm safe to say I'm a pretty big Molly Cyrus fan now. Um, Sam Smith, I recently got into Sam Smith like just a couple weeks ago, honestly. I have a pretty funny story about him, like how I really like his music. So at the store I was working at, they had like this radio playing, like just a typical pop radio. They have The Weeknd, they have Lady Gaga, they have um, all these different songs. They even have some Toto songs in there. They have that Toto Africa song. So the thing is, I heard his song. I know I'm not the only one, and uh, the chorus was just when he hits like that high note, like he hits that like falsetto voice. I was listening to it at the store because I was bored. I was just standing there just listening to the music, right? Because there was nothing to do, and that just stuck with me. So I just kept hearing that. And I just got stuck in my head. I didn't know it was Sam Smith at the time, and I was just hanging out with my girlfriend once, right? And I was just kind of singing that song as a joke because it was stuck in my head. But I thought his voice sounded stupid, honestly. And I guess I should say they because he's non-binary. I thought Sam's voice sounded stupid at first, so I was just singing it kind of like to make fun of it. And she was like, "Oh, that's Sam Smith." I'm like, "Yeah, I guess so." I don't know. I was just kind of singing that song because I was bored. And then I looked it up on YouTube. I kind of listened to this song, and I had my headphones on. I was kind of curious on how the whole song sounded because I only remember the chorus of it, right? And I was kind of blown away. Like I don't know if it was like I wasn't. It had to be because of the headphones, right? Like the headphones just made it sound so good. Like the way his voice just like briefly echoed when he was singing that song. It was so good, and I really liked his voice at that time, and I just became a huge fan. Listened to all three of his albums. If you're curious, The Thrill of All Things, his second album, that's my favorite one. Pray, No Peace, Palace. So many good songs on that record. It's fantastic. And I just became a huge Sam Smith fan, like pretty much overnight. Like I spent my day off just like listening to those songs as I was doing like my writing and stuff. And I really liked all three of those albums. Now I'm getting off topics. That was kind of like my brief history of Sam Smith. Now, so Lil Nas X is going to have songs with Molly Cyrus and Sam Smith. Now, I can see Lil Nas X working with Molly Cyrus. That kind of makes sense because Molly Cyrus is also part of the LGBTQIA community. I think she's pansexual. I think that's what she said. And so that kind of makes sense. And they both kind of have like a more upbeat, poppy kind of vibe to the music, so that makes sense. But what really got my attention is Sam Smith. Now, Sam Smith, he's like non-binary. He's also LGBTQIA. But what would a Sam Smith and Lil Nas X song sound like? That's what I've been thinking about for the past couple days. Like I saw this leak yesterday. I was like, whoa, what does song would these two sound like? Because Sam Smith has like that neo soul R&B kind of vibe to his music, and Lil Nas X. I haven't heard a ton of his music. I heard Old Town Road. I've heard Montero. I actually like Montero. That's a really catchy song. I actually like that song. Those are the only two songs I have. He kind of sounds like the typical trap pop singer, or whatever. So I really want to see what these two would sound like together. I mean, we have seen Sam Smith over like some more poppy type of instrumentals. Like he has that last song with this Disclosure, DiCaprio. I forgot what the producer's name is. Um, his new album To Live For. I forgot what it was called. I forgot what his new album was called. It had that song with Demi Lovato, but that album has like more of a pop vibe to it, more of like a disco kind of feeling to it. So I guess it could work, but I really want to see what this sounds like. Like I said, I'm not even a Lil Nas X fan, but this this leak has me curious. Like I want to hear what a Sam Smith and Lil Nas X song sounds like, and obviously I want to check out the Molly Cyrus song because, like I said, I'm a huge Molly Cyrus fan as well. But yeah, I will definitely check out this album. At least these two songs. What if they're both on the same song? Oh, like a Lil Nas X song with like Sam Smith's and Molly Cyrus's vocals on it. Ooh, that would actually be nice. I would actually want to. I would actually want to hear them both on the same song, as opposed to like different songs. That's what I would want. Okay, so that's my opinion on that. Thank you for coming to my Lil Nas X and the Baby TED Talk. But yeah. So basically, I guess I'll talk about my day because my day was actually pretty interesting. So I woke up, ate some food. I was on Hulu and I actually saw there was a John Coltrane. There was a John Coltrane documentary. I almost said autobiography, but documentary where it kind of talks about John Coltrane's life. I didn't watch the whole thing. I watched like 20 minutes because honestly, I don't watch that much TV. Um, as opposed when I eat or whatever, I watch TV. But honestly, like when I have some free time, I honestly just read. That's how I am. I prefer books over TV. But this was interesting. I gotta continue watching this. So it's just talking about like Coltrane's life and stuff. And the thing that caught me was it talked about his addiction, and it was well known that Coltrane had a heroin addiction. I also found out that he was an alcoholic. I didn't even know he did alcohol, but I know like the 50s and 60s, like all the black singers and stuff was on heroin and stuff. It talked about Charlie Parker, obviously. He was Coltrane's idol. And the thing that they brought up was there was this guy talking about. I think he was like the bassist for Coltrane, and he was like closer. He's like a friend of Coltrane, right? And he said that musicians they don't really need drugs to be um, creative. And this has been a really long debate. Like I said, this Coltrane was from like the 50s and 60s, and this debate is still going on. Like I still hear people saying, "Oh, this artist was so much better when they were on drugs," or "This artist is so much worse ever since they started doing cocaine or whatever." And it's kind of like a common thing. Like you think of all like the rock stars like Axl Rose, Jim Morrison. Like they all love Jimi Hendrix. They all love doing drugs and stuff. And so I was thinking about that the whole day. Like, does doing drugs like really boost creativity? Because I know there have that was awkward. I know there have been like a lot of musicians where they cited drugs as a major influence. I'll say the Doors is probably the most obvious one. The Doors, Bob Marley. Bob Marley, he wasn't really a hard druggie, but he just did weed. But the Doors, they love doing LSD and weed. Like I don't think the Doors would be at. I don't even think the Doors would exist without LSD and heroin and stuff. And I don't think they would be as creative without it. You think of all the songs like "Light My Fire," like all the songs they have dedicated to like drugs and stuff. Jim Morrison, he was a hardcore alcoholic, so you know, I mean, it's kind of weird because, like I said, I'm not a musician, so I can't really speak. I've never done drugs. I never will do heroin or cocaine. That just seems terrible. But it kind of seems like there's a stigma where if the artist is on drugs, they make better music, but when they're off drugs, they don't. Like I know when Lil Wayne was doing lean and stuff, people were saying his music was so good. But when he got off the lean, people were saying, "Oh, his music isn't the same. It's not hitting the same." They said the same with Future when he said he quit doing lean and he was afraid to tell his fans because he thought they could tell the difference. And it kind of it's I don't really know if doing drugs makes you more creative or not because, like I said, like I think it's more of the factor that I think it's more of the factor that the drug experiences give make you more creative, not really the drugs itself. I mean, the drug experience gives you. I mean, the drugs obviously give you the experience, but however, I'm saying that, or think of it this way: you kind of have to level it out. You kind of have to see like all the musicians that died taking drugs, Keith Moon, Jim Morrison, even though it wasn't confirmed, most people think he died of like something related to alcohol. So I'll throw Jim Morrison in there. Amy Winehouse, Billie Holiday, like Prince, like all these people that died doing drugs. And the thing is, like, you would think you would learn, like, after like Jim Morrison, Keith Moon, Billie Holiday, like often Charlie Parker, his death was connected to heroin. Like you think artists would learn not to stay clear away from drugs, but it seems like they want to do drugs more than ever. And the thing with what it is, when Amy Winehouse died back in 2011, people were like, "Oh, we artists need to stop doing drugs. Artists need to stop doing all these heroin and cocaine." And it's like, really, really, now we're saying this after Jimi Hendrix, after all those rock stars and people died from doing drugs. Now we're saying drugs are bad. Like 50, 60 plus years of artists dying over heroin and alcohol and booze or whatever. And now you're saying in 2011 that drugs are bad. Come on, people. We should have been learned our lesson. So I was just kind of thinking about that. Like, does drugs actually help artists? I really can't say because I never done drugs and I'm not a musician, so I can't really say. But it's something I was speculating for the whole day. I mean, I don't really think artists need to do. I mean, I can think of a ton of great artists. Prince didn't do drugs for a long time, and he made some of the best music in the '80s. I don't think Michael Jackson did drugs, and he's Michael Jackson. So it's like all this. So I really think it just depends. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going. This. I'm just thinking out loud. Type in the comments what you think. But yeah, I went to the gym today, and that was interesting. Today was chest day. Chest day is so much fun to work out because you can do like so many things. You can do bench press. You can do I don't know. It's just I do a lot of body weight exercises, and one of the exercises I love to do are dips. Uh, I have like the weight belt, like the chains on it, and I just attach some weight and I just start doing dips. I did them slowly to kind of like make sure all my muscles are worked out, and so much fun. I love the body workouts. Like I used to hate doing pull ups because I kind of in high school I couldn't even do two pull ups. Like I would do one, and I could do like one and a half. I could do two on a lucky day, but mostly it was like one pull up. And so that kind of turned me off for a while. But body weight exercises are like so much fun. They're simple, but they really work. I kind of think they're underrated because everyone's like, "Oh, how much do you bench, bro? How much do you squat, bro?" But body weight exercises are like so underrated. Like you can work so many muscles with like push ups and like pull ups and stuff. I love doing pull ups now. It's like my favorite thing to do. And so I was doing I was doing dips, and I was doing like the shoulder weights stuff, the shoulder shrugs. Yeah, I don't know why people don't like going to the gym. It just makes you feel so much better. Like I wasn't even that attractive back in high school, but I grew a beard. I went to the gym, and it just boosted my confidence. I feel like all men should. I told my girlfriend this. I feel like all men should be like required to grow like a beard at one point in their lives at least. Like it should be like it should like before you vote or whatever, before you get like a driver's license or whatever. A man should like grow a beard, keep it for like a week, then he can share it off whatever. I know it sounds really weird, but women might not understand this. But I know most of the guys understand this. But having a beard, it just makes you feel like so masculine. It's like, yeah, I have this beard. It's kind of like having like a little pet. You have to groom it, take care of it, make it look nice, keep it moisturized. It's just like I honestly feel like all men should be able to grow a beard. It's like a mane to a lion. Like it just makes you just feel like masculine, manly. You can kind of style it different ways, and I just feel like all men should just be required to grow a beard. I feel like the world would definitely be a better place. Might be more toxic masculinity. But I feel like all men should be required to grow a beard. So recently, I've had this very bizarre fascination for the past couple of days with this online community known as incels. And I was honestly before this, I thought incel was like I thought it was like an insult. Did anyone else think it was an insult, like being an incel? I thought it was like an insult. But randomly I came across this video. It was talking about Elliot Rogers. You guys might know him. He's really like the pioneer for incels. I mean, incels have always been around. There have always been horny men who just hate women because they can't get laid. But Elliot Rogers is really like the pioneer of like being an incel. Like he just talked about how much like he hated women, how attractive he was. He was like, "Oh, why do women go up after all those other trash guys and we men have to suffer. The good men." He was kind of like a narcissist too, and he just got fed up one day, and he went out and killed a bunch of people, and that really that like watching that video, I've heard of this story before. I've heard of it a couple of years ago, but this is like the first time where I heard like the whole story, like how he came up, all this. And the thing was, like, he wasn't even that ugly. Like, he had a BMW, he had money. You know what the stupidest thing was? You know what the stupidest thing was? He tried to hit the lottery, right? He had rich parents, right? His dad was working. His work has worked on the Hunger Games movies. Some of you might be too young to remember those movies, but they were big back in the early 2010s. So his dad was loaded. He had his Elliot had a BMW. He tried to hit the lottery. He spent $700 trying to hit the lottery. He didn't win. Now, he had $700. He couldn't hire a hooker. He couldn't hire some hookers. For $700, you can hire like two hookers for a night. Jeez. Come on, man. The mindset of these people is really baffling. Like, if you're just so lonely, just hire a hooker, man. This man pretty much just pissed on $700 and flushed down the toilet. Could have hired some hookers. The mindset when you're desperate, you know. But I'm getting off topic. Well, it's still on topic technically, but so that really kind of aroused my interest in incels. So I kind of like did some more research on incels, and I don't know. I just watched like a dozen videos on like incels, like the chat forums and like all this stuff. It's like this really bizarre kind of echo chamber world that they live in, where it's like they hate women because they won't date women, and the reason why they won't date women is because they hate women. But they hate women because they won't like. It's kind of like a mirror, like a reflective mirror. It's like really. And I think is most of these guys don't even look that bad. Elliot Rogers did not look bad. Like I mean, he wasn't the nicest looking guy, but he was a solid 6 or 7 on the guy scale. No homo. But the thing is, it's like I don't understand why it's so hard. Like most of these guys aren't good looking, and the thing is, like I said, I wasn't even that good looking back in high school. Like I didn't get any girls. No girls were interested in me in high school. So I went to the gym, started working out. I grew a beard. Started started doing some started just working on myself, and I went to college. A bunch of girls were interested in me, and the rest is history. Like I was pretty popular with the girls back in college. So thing is, like, it's all in your head. Like if you don't think you can get girls, then you can't get girls. Like it's all like in the mindset of your head. And I know they're gonna say, "Oh, I've been rejected multiple times. I've been rejected multiple times." Well, the thing is, you gotta work on yourself, my guy. Like you can't just be inside playing World of Warcraft all day, smoking cigarettes. And I've been there, like just playing World of Warcraft all day. I mean, it's a fun game, but it's like not primarily this World of Warcraft. It can be like Skyrim, Call of Duty, whatever, Fortnite, whatever games are popular right now. It's like you can't just be inside all day. Like you gotta go out, you gotta work on yourself. You gotta look in the mirror and be like, if I were a girl, would I want to date myself? That's what you have to do. And if the answer is no, you want to date yourself, you're a loser, you stay inside all day, you don't have a job, no career, no ambitions, then you got to work on that. No girl wants to date a loser. You got to work on yourself. There is this theory that 80% of girls want the top 20% of men. And I mostly agree with that. I mean, no girl wants like a bottom tier guy. Like, and the thing is, looks aren't even that attractive to a girl. Well, it depends on the girl, obviously, but I found that most girls like being physically attractive to them. It's not that bad. Like there are plenty of pretty girls willing to settle for like an average looking guy. But the thing is, you have to have personality. You gotta have charisma. You gotta have all this stuff where like that's the way to a woman's heart. Like a personality. You gotta make them feel important and stuff. Like 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 I said, you just have to work on yourself. Like I feel like everyone can work on their personality. Where I mean, you can't completely change your personality, but at the same time, you can work on it. If you feel like you can't work on your personality, just fake it. Just fake it till you make it. Fake it till you have a girlfriend. I've seen plenty of ugly guys, plenty of overweight guys with girlfriends. A lot of them out of their league, honestly. I mean, women are mysterious. So you know, you can't just give up on finding a girlfriend. And I don't know why society puts such an emphasis on having a girlfriend either. I mean, like or a boyfriend or dating, obviously. I mean, honestly, with dating, it's not for everyone. Honestly, not everyone. Dating isn't for everyone. And the thing about incels is they feel entitled to have women. They feel entitled to control women or whatever. But the thing is, like, not everyone is really built for dating. Like, takes commitment, takes effort, time, takes a lot of stuff. I mean, it's nice though. You can have sex whenever you want. You can have women cook for you, play with you. Sound perverted. Um, enjoy hobbies with you and stuff, care for you. But honestly, it takes a lot of work too. You gotta spend money, you gotta spend time. Like, not everyone, like, dating is not for everyone. Like, if you want to save money, don't find a girlfriend. Point blank. If you value your free time, don't find a girlfriend. She's gonna want all your free time. But honestly, like I don't know why the incels have like such a strong desire to have a girlfriend. I mean, I know they kind of feel lonely, whatever, but don't they have like those chat rooms, like where they just talk about like women and just like talk about like hating themselves? Those chat rooms are unhealthy too. Like just like spending like all day in those chat rooms where people are just like constantly just talking trash about women, talk about how sad they are. I mean, I guess it's relatable, but at the same time, don't you want to like break out of that, like if you constantly feel like your mind and brain with like negativity, then you're just gonna be negative. Like you gotta focus on some of the positive stuff if you want to get out of that position. A lot of people a lot of people grow out of it. I hear like I see like a lot of YouTubers where it's like I used to be an incel, but I'm not an incel anymore, and so I'm kind of happy for those people. But a lot of those guys feel so pathetic, man. Feel so sad. Must be a lonely existence. I mean, I didn't get any girls in high school. I wasn't an incel because I wasn't really trying to get a girlfriend. I was, I was a little piece of crap in high school. Like, I was just focused on like hanging out with friends, working, trying to pass high school. Honestly, I have no idea how I passed high school. Like, it was rough. Like, especially like the math stuff. Some of that stuff was just impossible. They expected us to read like, all right. So in high school, we had like so many different classes. We had like 7 or 8 different classes. I think it was like 8 different classes, and you were expected to pass every single one of them. You had to do math homework, reading, science homework, English homework. Like it was just impossible. I don't know how they expect to do all of that, and I had to work too. So I had to make money and stuff. Um, so it was just hard, and I had this it was kind of like a tech school, right? Um that I could do like in high school, so that I would so everyone else would take 7 classes, right? I would take 3 classes, then go to tech school for the rest of the day. So I would technically take like 4 classes. Um, so um, so that kind of helped me. The tech school was good. It was easy. It was fun, and I had a B in my tech school class. It was auto body, and probably like C's and B's in my other classes. And I would be on the honor roll because that tech school technically counted for like 3 or 4 different classes, right? So on my report card, it would be like that tech school would count for like 2 or 3 B's. So it would bring my GPA up. So I would get like honor roll every every quarter, or whatever. I would be on the honor roll because I was in tech school, and being in tech school kind of raised my grades up because it counted for multiple classes. So if I got an A in tech school, it would be multiple A's on my report. If I got a B in tech school, it would be multiple B's. And so yeah, so that's how I passed high school. If I had to take like a normal mundane like 7 classes like everyone else, I would not have passed high school. I'll tell you that right now. High school was hard, man. I don't know how anyone passes that thing. Ooh, look, my head's big. But yeah. What was I even talking about? But yeah, high school, man, that was rough. I'm not. I graduated from high school back in 2017, so it's been almost 4 years since I went to high school. That's kind of scary. I do feel like I feel like a lot stronger and a lot wiser than I was back in high school, though. Um, Still pretty young though. Wow, feels like just like a couple years ago when I graduated high school. Where has all the time gone? 4 years have passed. My brother graduated. My younger brother graduated high school last year. He's moving on to big things. I don't want to be too specific, but yeah, he's moving on to some big stuff. Anyway, so yeah, high school, man. I don't know how I passed it. Uh, I had this one guy in my tech school, right? His name was James. He was 20 years old, and he was still a sophomore. The thing about Montgomery County is that they kick you out of high school when you're 21. I think. Um, Let me look that up just to be sure. What should I look up? Age limits for high school. I don't know. Yeah, right here, right here. Yeah, so he was like 20 and he was still a sophomore. So yikes. So I don't know where he is right now. I kind of wish I kept in contact with him. But yeah, he was not going to graduate. I mean, I guess he could get like a GED or whatever. But yeah, he would not have graduated, and he just got held back. Man, that has to be embarrassing, getting held back, watching all your friends graduate, and you're still like a sophomore or whatever. Has to be sad. Has to be sad. The thing was, we made fun of him all the time because he would not brush his teeth. Like he said, he was trying to get the world record for like not brushing his teeth. What is the world record for not? I don't even know if I want to look that up. Because I know if I look it up, there's going to be a picture of it. I'm really curious though. Like, what's the world record for not brushing your teeth? Because he claimed he didn't brush his teeth for 7 years. That's disgusting. That's disgusting. That's disgusting. He was a clown too. Like he said he went on a date with this girl, right? And we were like, okay, James, what kind of what girl did you go on a date with? Like, what was she like? And he was like, oh, she was hot, man. She was hot. And we were like, oh, what's her name? And he was like, oh, her name was Laura Croft. And we're like, Laura Croft, the video game character from Tomb Raider, the one with the triangle boobs. He was like, yeah, yeah. He's like, and we're like, show us a picture. And he awkwardly just pulls out his phone. He taps on it a couple times. And he shows us a picture of Laura Croft, and it's like the PS2 version of her. Like I said, with the triangle boobs and like the square ropes. He couldn't even pull a real like cosplayer. That man was funny, and we were like, James, this is a video game character. He's like, no, no, I really went on a date with her. You gotta believe me. And we're like, my guy, Laura Croft is a video game character. Everyone knows who she is. Come on, my guy. There was this one time where he's There was this one time he said he tried to brush his teeth and he choked on the toothbrush. What kind of? You can't make this stuff up. James was hilarious. He was an idiot, but he was a funny idiot. Yeah, everyone in class would just bully the mess out of this guy. Everyone would just like bully him and just berate him and just. But the thing is, he deserved it. He deserved it most of the time. I don't know what it was about him. I don't know if he wasn't getting attention at home, but he would purposely say stupid stuff just to get a reaction. He was like the class clown, but on steroids. Like I think I think he was like a manicist or whatever that's called. Or I think he kind of liked getting bullied. Like I think he liked the attention, liked getting bullied and stuff. Even the, even the teacher was like, James, you're stupid. Like, and Mr. Petro, the teacher was a nice guy. He was like, James, you're the dumbest student I have ever. Oh my goodness. Yo, high school was tough. High school was a pain. But sometimes I miss high school so much. It's like a love hate relationship. Like, so stupid. And it was tech school, so yeah, James was trying to fix those cars. Whatever. He were an auto buddy, right? So he was trying to like repair the cars or whatever. He was just a moron. We were like, James, just stop. No one wants you to repair their car. He was trying to weld the pieces back together, and we would like always like jump scare him. And he would jump like this, and like the welding metal would just get everyone like the sparks would go everywhere. My goodness, high school was something else. Honestly, sadly, I don't really talk to much of the guys back from high school. We kind of all went our separate ways, but I keep in touch with like two or three of them. But man, I wish those days would come back. Like it sucked being like under all that pressure, having to go to school, having to go to work, having to wake up early. Honestly, like kind of like reminiscing on it, the nostalgia of it. It was just kind of just like it was really like hilarious. Like it was like a lot of fun stuff that went on in high school. I hear a lot of people saying that life was easier back then. Like, like it's kind of like a common thing where people say like after like 2016, like the world just went to crap or whatever. A lot of people said that. To some extent, I have to agree. However, I feel like it's just us like getting older and just noticing like the world is just a messed up place. Like when we were like 10 or 11 years old, we weren't really worried about like 9/11 or like the terrorist attack or whatever, politics, whatever. We were just like focused on like playing with like our Gundam action figures and Transformers toys. But once you're in high school, once you're in college, you're just thrown out into the world and you just notice how cold and like bitter it is, like how terrible the world is. So yeah, I don't really feel like the world has inherently gotten worse since 2016. However, I feel like you're just getting like older and wiser. You just kind of you kind of like open your eyes and just kind of see like the world for how it truly is. Man, but it just seems like in middle school and high school, like the world was like so much easier, like all that stuff. I mean, there was still like a lot of crappy stuff I noticed back then too. Like there was this one guy named I forgot what his name was. I think his name was shit, I can't remember his name, but he looked exactly like a Machine Gun Kelly. He was like this white kid. He'd always wear tank tops. He would have like a ton of like Nickelodeon tattoos. Like he had like Adventure Time and like some SpongeBob tattoos or whatever. I think his name was like Lucky or something. I can't remember. Yeah, he was like in his 20s or whatever. So he looked like a gangster, right? He looked like he was straight from Compton, like on some Machine Gun Kelly type stuff. And this one kid was like bullying him. He was like, "Yo, kid, I'm gonna shoot you." The very next day, he made that threat. Three police cars were like lined up in front of our high school, and nothing happened. But I was like, "Wow, you really can't be saying stuff like this anymore." Like when you're like in middle school and high school, like when you're like in middle school, it's like all jokes, right? But in high school, they take that stuff seriously. Like I don't remember the police ever being called like in middle school, but in high school that was just like a completely different thing. Like it was like a different world, honestly. Like it seemed like in high school, like anything could happen. Like there were just some like really bizarre stories I remember. Like in my tech class, it wasn't my tech class, but it was like a tech class that I was in, but it was in my period. If you know what I'm saying. There was a fight that broke out between these two girls, and one girl picked up a computer and threw it at another girl. She picked up one of those desktop monitors, just threw it at the other girl. I don't mean to laugh, but jeez, that's taxpayers' money going to waste. That must have been a heck of a fight, though. How mad you have to be to like fight another girl and just like try to slap a computer, just try to slap her with a computer, like. Man, you're talking about like one of those Jackie Chan movies where Jackie Chan just starts beating up people with like chairs and ladders and tables. It's like Injustice 2 where like the superheroes are like fighting whatever. They like pick up like stuff and just start throwing at your at the opponent. Shoot, man, it's like a real life sleeping dogs game, man. And there was another instance. Oh geez, there was another instance where we would have these things called bathroom parties. I never attended one personally, but so basically, all these high school kids would just like plan out like a party. They'll go into the bathroom, have like these loudspeakers and stuff, and just start playing music and just start dancing in the bathrooms. However, one bathroom party was just so crazy. One bathroom party was just so crazy the security had to intervene, and they pushed the security guard. He came into the bathroom. He was like, "Hey guys, cut this out and go to class." And they all pushed him outside like of the bathroom, and he fell over. And he like broke his shoulder, or whatever. And He had to go to the hospital and get his shoulder repaired or put in a cast. It's just like, dang, like this would not have happened in middle school. Like I'm just telling you, like the gap between like high school, the gap between middle school and high school, it's a huge gap. That's what I'm telling you. Like I honestly feel like there needs to be like kind of like a segue from middle school to high school because when I was in middle school and I went to high school, there was like such a huge culture shock. Like everything was different in high school. Like it took me a long time to adjust to high school. Like after I got to middle school, so it was just like a huge culture shock. Like people did things differently. In middle school, you would use lockers. In high school, no one really used lockers. We actually had like real security guards. We had like real police at our high school. It was just it's just a heck of a different world in high school. I mean, I still remember this one slut in high school. I forgot what her name was. Her name was Becca. She was a slut, man. She during lunchtime she would go outside and she would offer to like show her boobs for free, and she would have I remember this. It was right outside the school. She would have men lined up, lined up, like there was like a line of like a dozen guys lined up, and it was like this one area like where like the cameras you couldn't really see, so like the cameras couldn't see it, and she would just like show guys her boobs for free, for free, for free. She would even offer you like lunch. You wouldn't have to give her like lunch or something. Shoot, man, I still think about it to this day like she would do it. She would do that for free. Like, how much would it cost to like actually like pay her to like have sex or whatever? Like, she would probably have sex for like a Gatorade. Honestly, like, I can understand she was kind of charging people, but just for free. Like, shoot, man. She wasn't even that ugly looking. But what I hear, she had daddy issues. Like, I heard she like married this guy, this illegal guy, so he could get like a green card or whatever. I heard she had like a threesome in like the forest or whatever. I heard a lot of rumors about this Becky character. But man, high school, man, wild, wild. So I mean, it was just it was only just like I was gonna say a few years ago, but it was years ago. But honestly, there was like a lot of stuff in high school that I was ignorant in high school. You know, I was dumb and stupid, but man, I kind of miss that, just not caring. You know, I did like a lot of stupid stuff in high school too. I remember it was November 23rd, and I had like these brand new boots for my birthday, and I was trying to show off the steel toe, and I kicked a window, and the window just it was a glass window, right? The window just shattered, like it didn't like break, but the window like had like that spider web like crack across the window, like the whole window was just like cracked. And the security came out. I was like, "Who did this? Who cracked this window? Who did this?" And I was like, "Oh shoot, it was me." Like it was me. And and then I had to go to the office, and they were like, "You're gonna have to pay for this window." I'm like, "Whatever, okay, cool." I never had to pay for it, um, so I'm thankful for that. Um, and you know what the funny thing was? Like 2 weeks later, that window broke again. It wasn't me. I didn't break it. I didn't break it a second time, but someone else broke it. And they just put like these plastic bars across the window, across the door, so it wouldn't break again. Because they got tired of it broken. I broke it. A couple weeks later, someone else broke it. They were like, screw it. Too much taxpayers' money spending on it. Just bar the plastic door. Oh my goodness. I went to the principal's office so many times. Actually, I have a funny story about the principal. He was arguing with this one kid named Matt. Like Matt, he was a troublemaker. Like this guy Matt. He would not do his homework. He would talk back to the teachers. He would just walk out of class. One day the principal just got fed up with it. He went to the he pulled Matt out of a class. Just started talking to him. Just started talking. You know that Matt was talking back. The principal got angry. They were just kind of shouting back and forth, and Matt just got tired of the principal. He punched the principal across the face, knocking him over, knocking off his glasses. I don't mean to laugh, but I wasn't there. But it was just one of those things where like the whole school heard about it, and no one was surprised. Matt was he wasn't known for fighting people, but you could tell that he could get violent. Like he was always shouting at people. So we never seen him fight anyone, but he could get violent. That's what I'm trying to say. And I guess he just exploded. Like maybe he was just having a bad day. Maybe he was just tired of principal. Just he just knocked the principal on his butt. Like, jeez. Like I said, I wasn't there, but I can just imagine. And I swear, after that happened, I've never seen the principal ever again. Like, except for like the except for like except for like school rallies or like graduation and stuff, you would never see the principal. Like that was it. He just the principal just hid in his office. He just hid in his office like the rest of the school year. Swear, I swear to you, I forgot that man existed until like graduation where I saw him. I was like, oh, man, this is our principal. I haven't seen him for the whole school year. Ever since he got knocked out, I've not seen him for the whole school year. Jeez, jeez, like, I mean, Sherwood, Montgomery County, it's not the worst place ever. I mean, I didn't go to a ghetto school. It was mostly like a white school, but it got crazy. Like it was usually tame, but when it got crazy, it got crazy. Like honestly, I need to bring back my story time here because there was so much stuff from high school I could talk about right now. So much stuff from high school I could talk about. Yeah, those were just some of my favorite ones. Man, yeah, there have just been several fights. Just man, trying to think is looking back on it. A lot of my friends, like I'm still friends with like a lot of people from high school. Um, I still keep in contact with a healthy couple of them, but a lot of them just changed. Like they just changed, where I don't recognize them anymore. Like I'm still friends with a lot of them. A lot of them haven't changed. Like well, they changed. They got more mature, but they're still like we still have stuff in common. We still talk all the time, but it's just like a lot of my friends have moved, gone to the military. I had some friends who died last year. Honestly, they died from a drug overdose, and I'm not gonna say I was super close to them, but it was like a huge shock to me because these were people that I've seen like every day. Like we went to class like every day. I saw them in the lunchroom like every day. Like it was just like a part of my life just seeing these people, and I find out like they died from like an overdose. It was just like wow, wow. It was really weird. I had a friend, not really call him a friend, but a classmate, and I went to middle school with him. I went to high school with him. I sat next to him in class every day. We were talking. I don't know if I would consider him a friend, but we talked often. And senior year of high school, he put a shotgun in his mouth and blew his brains out. And that really messed me up. It was like, wow. Like that was someone I went to art class with. I went to digital art with. I had several classes with him. We talked and stuff like all the like a lot. I still remember his name. I still remember like a lot of the stories he told me, and we yeah he just killed himself, and it's terrible. I'll admit, I talked to him a lot in middle school. I wasn't too close with him in high school. I saw him every now and then. We were just like, hey, well, what's up, my guy? But yeah, he took one of his dad's guns, blew his brains out, and it was tough. It was tough. He was always kind of like an outsider, but um, we still talked a lot. Like we had like stuff in common. It was like that. So, so yeah, I have friends who moved. I have friends who died. A friend who killed himself. Um, I have some friends who haven't changed. I have some friends about to get. I actually I have a friend right now. She's my age. She's married, has a daughter already. Isn't that crazy? It's so weird because I feel like I just got out of high school like last year. It feels like I just got out of high school, and all this stuff has happened. I got friends married, friends in serious relationship. I'm in a serious relationship. It's just like crazy to me, like the growth that we're on, and I don't even feel like I reached my peak yet. I'm young, and I feel like I have like a lot of stuff to do, a lot of stuff to prove, and it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling that I feel young, and I still feel like I have a lot of stuff to do. It keeps me motivated. You know, I got a lot of regrets, but it's kind of like a Frank Sinatra said. I got a few regrets, but then again, too few to mention. So that's what I gotta do. Honestly, I really don't regret much in my life. Honestly, I just don't have time to regret. I don't have time to feel sad. Like life is too quick, and what's regret and sadness gonna do? It's kind of like you just gotta move on. Gotta take it on the chin, move on, learn from your mistakes, keep it moving. That's what you gotta do. You can't spend your whole life miserable. You can't spend your whole life regretting something that you cannot change. You can't change the past, but you can change the future. Well, technically, you can't change the future because it hasn't happened. But you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. Like you can change the present to alter the future positively. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, man. Like, man, high school, man. Life is just. I I honestly think about like right now, like so much of your life is just like It's just like boils down to like high school. Like high school, that's where like everything happens. Like I feel like I heard a lot of people say like, oh, high school is important. Get good grades freshman year. Get good grades sophomore year. I just kind of brushed it off because I wasn't really that serious about high school. I was just trying to pass high school so I could go into the Navy. Obviously, it didn't work out for me since I'm a YouTuber now. but yeah. So now I kind of look back and I'm just like, wow, they were right. Like so much of high school really like determines your future. And that was like my whole thing. I was in the high school, just like, okay, whatever. I'm just gonna do this, get to the Navy, whatever. I had a backup plan to do carpentry. Neither one of them worked. I was gonna do criminal justice. It was all right, but it wasn't for me. I'm going to start doing HVAC later this month. So yeah, all this stuff. It's just kind of I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying right now. But if I planned out better in high school, maybe I wouldn't have wasted my time doing college or whatever. Honestly, I don't even feel like I wasted my time doing criminal justice, whatever. I learned so much about myself doing college. Like I learned so much about myself. Like I used to hate English in high school. Like I was like, why am I learning English? I'm already a native English speaker. Like I know how to put together like basic sentences or whatever. Like isn't that enough to get me through life? Basically. I mean, with all the immigrants right now, like sometimes my English is like too good for people. Oh, that's messed up. That's messed up. But honestly, I do feel like ironically, some of my English is too good. Like sometimes I'll use like a word, and someone's like, "What does that word mean? What does that mean?" I'm just like, "Oh, it means this blah blah blah." Like I've taught my girlfriend a bunch of words because I just use like words like. But partly that's my fault because I just love reading. I just pick up like a bunch of like obtrusive words and stuff. So that's why my vocabulary is a little bit more expansive than other people. Where am I going with this? But yeah, in college, I learned that I really like to write. Like in my English class, I learned that I really like to write, and I didn't know that about myself until I went to college. And yeah, I just started reading. I just started reading more. I mean, I've always been a reader, but I really started reading more in high school. Um, so yeah, that was something that I don't regret. Like if it wasn't for college, I might have not have learned it. I like writing, and I learned sign language. That was fun. I didn't really practice on it, but I plan to practice on it when I get some free time. And yeah, I learned a lot about myself in college. And yeah, my father might think it was a waste of time and money, but honestly, I think it was worth the time. Like I didn't get my criminal justice degree or whatever, but I feel like I learned a lot about myself, and I feel like I would be in a very different position right now if I did not go and take some college classes. And anyway, that's all I got for tonight. I'm gonna leave you guys off of this. Um, Thank you for attending my first ever I was trying to say baby sperm whale. Thank you for attending my first Flannel Czar podcast. Next time I need to bring some water. I just been talking for like an hour straight. My mouth is dry as the Sahara Desert. Like my throat is hurting. My mouth is dry. I had some water upstairs, but I just slipped my mind and bring it down here. But yeah, I was thinking about taking a break to get some water, but I just like doing everything in one take. It just makes it easier. It just makes it so much nicer doing it in one take. You know, it is kind of messy, but that's the kind of thing. You know, just improvising. I love jazz music, and I love jazz music, and the thing that they do in jazz is improvise. Work with your mistakes. Work with what you got. Not everything is perfect, and that's why I do everything in one take. I love to improvise. I love to put myself in a spot and see what I can do with little to no preparation. You can't grow unless you can't grow if you're always comfortable, right? You got to put yourself in those awkward positions. You got to put yourself in those uncomfortable positions so you can grow. And that's what I do with my YouTube channel. I don't know. Maybe that's just an excuse for me being lazy, but honestly, thank you for attending my podcast, my Flannel Czar episode one. I'm not expecting this to do super well since it's a pretty long video, but if you have made it this far, tell me if you have any comments, if you have any praises, any criticisms. I can take it. Like I said with my criticisms, you can criticize me. I don't mind being criticized. All I want you to do is just don't make it hateful, and please use grammar and punctuation. I have strokes and heart attacks when I just read something that is just, it looks like it was written by an autistic monkey. So please capitalize, commas, periods, exclamation marks if you really feel that strongly. Um, but yeah, I've been rambling on long enough. I hope you enjoy my podcast. First episode. And yeah, peace.